So with that loss, the Green Bay Packers now fall to 4-7 on the season, and it's not going to get any easier for them. The Green Bay Packers, following this game, have to go to Philadelphia next week. They have to go at Chicago. We know Chicago's going to be ready for Aaron Rodgers based on, who's your daddy? I own you. The animosity between those two teams are going to be really high, and the level of the two teams are about as even as it's been in a long time. Then they go to LA, then they go to they at home for LA, Miami, Minnesota. The Packers, pretty much unanimously now, outside of maybe a few delusional Packers fans, the Packers are going to miss the playoffs. The Packers 4-7. The schedule's not getting easier. Maybe you still beat Chicago. Maybe you beat the Rams. Maybe you beat Detroit. But then you're looking at best a 7-win football team. More realistically, you're looking probably like 6. I didn't like this team at all going into the season. I said that they were a wild card team. It was kind of just because I wasn't man enough to say that they weren't going to be, that they weren't going to miss the playoffs. In hindsight, I definitely should have called that. I would have felt so good about myself. But they're a mess. Where do they go from here?
I don't know, bro. It's so weird. Like, I think obviously at this point you have to move off of Aaron Rodgers. Now, is he the main problem? Maybe not on the field, but in the locker room, maybe he's part of the problem. But hey, maybe he's the reason that Christian Watson also got his confidence back.
Would you like right now move off Aaron Rodgers though, like for next game, and just see what you have in Jordan Love
against the Eagles? So at this point, they're not really out of playoff contention. So I can't really say yet. I think if they have a 6 wins going into the Lions game, they should start Love.
Yeah, because at the very least, you want to see what you have from Jordan Love. Whether it's necessarily
I was gonna say
the quarterback. No, I'm sure they would be starting Trey Lance by now. Well, except for his ankle being, I'm sure he would be starting him. And honestly, from this point out, starting Jordan Love, either A, you figure out he's the guy. B, you figure out he's not the guy. And then even a subsection from B is maybe you can get a pick for him. Aaron Rodgers, we know they have this little under-the-table handshake deal that after this season, they'd allow him to move to wherever he wanted to. A few weeks ago, said he should retire. I don't think he's going to retire. I think he's going to keep playing on. And I can see him on a team like the Jets, who have a very good defense, and Zach Wilson, depending on how the rest of the season plays, could play himself out of a job if we see him play like he's played against the Patriots multiple times in his career up to this point.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers can go find a playoff team, can go find a team that is a quarterback away. Imagine him on the 49ers.
I was actually going to say the Raiders.
Imagine. Oh no, gosh, no. That'd be a crap show. Pun intended. That'd be a crap show.
Reunite with Devontae Adams. I mean, we've already established a point that we don't think that Derek Carr is going to be coming back next year.
I don't think Derek Carr is going to be gone, and I don't think he's going to be there. Not necessarily because of him, but just I think it's a time for him to move on. I think it's a time for the team to move on. They just need a complete reset there.
Who says no to a trade, Derek Carr for Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know if that helps either team. I don't think it helps either team as much as you think it helps either team. But he will likely be gone, and also maybe Matt LaFleur is gone.
Yeah, honestly, I think Matt LaFleur is gone, 100%.
Because what has he done to prove himself? He only lost 6 games before this season, and it's kind of similar to the conversation around Nathaniel Hackett. How much credit does he deserve for what's been going on with the team, or is Aaron Rodgers just that good? Now we see him without Devontae Adams, and times they seem clueless out there. They don't seem what they're going to do. They're
really undisciplined.
They're always very undisciplined. Him and Rodgers are regularly not on the same page. So one way or another, one of the two has to go. I expect Rodgers is going to go no matter what. There's no reason to stick around this team. Christian Watson, in just the last 5 days, has taken over the number one rookie wide receiver in sort of touchdowns. But
over his last 9 catches, he has 5 touchdowns.
But it took Aaron Rodgers, till week 9 just to trust him? And it's not going to get better. They've already proven that they're not going to go out and get a big weapon. So it's not like they're going to go out and trade for Brandon Cooks. They're not going to trade for DJ Moore. This is who they are.
They did try to trade. They offered a first for DJ Moore. I mean,
they said no. So what makes you think that this time in the offseason they're going to say yes? The Panthers know they stink. They know their season's over. So if they're going to say no now, why are they going to say yes in the offseason?
I mean, if it's a first that they know is going to be a top 10 pick,
I guess that's a good point. I guess that's a good point because if you add DJ Moore, that immediately elevates the team and gives them the biggest piece they're missing. Whereas you have the security of knowing what that pick is once the season's over. But then, do the Packers even want to trade that pick if you could potentially draft a Will Levis? If you could draft a Hendon Hooker, you're obviously not getting one of the top 2 picks. Houston and then, as things stand, the Raiders are probably both taking quarterbacks if they end up with those 2 picks. So, if you're the Packers, are you satisfied with a Will Levis? Are you satisfied with a Hendon Hooker? I don't know if that's a question you can answer right now, but I think maybe even also similar to the Raiders, both sides, it's an opportunity for both to split and just get out of each other's way.
But is this a time? Or when was the last time that the Packers had a top 15 pick? And didn't have to trade for it. That was
probably the year they missed the playoffs when they only had 6 or 7 wins.
When was that?
6 years ago or something? Because I remember that's when Chicago won the division.
When they fired Mike McCarthy.
I think did they fire him after that year or was it the next year? I don't remember. But the year they beat Chicago, or Chicago beat them in Soldier Field to win the division.
That's when Rodgers broke his collarbone.
I don't remember. I've watched so many football games.
Or that was the year that, yeah. But anyways, it's so up in where do they go? Where do they go from here? And they can go a million different ways. They can go and get a new quarterback. Is the quarterback the problem? Is coaching the problem? Because honestly, when I see Rodgers out in the field and I watch Rodgers out in the field, he's not the problem on the field.
He's also not the solution. I mean, this is a term that a lot of Dolphins fans have heard. Is Tua the problem? No, but is he the solution? Now we're seeing he has become the solution. But is Aaron Rodgers at 38 years old, who's been stubborn, who's, as the years have gone on, him and Belichick have really gone in the same direction where they're just less and less personable, less and less willing to deal with crap.
I think
is
Belichick
Rodgers
become more personable lately.
Maybe no. Look at the. I mean, we've all seen the video Halloween with Randy Moss and we're gonna get a roller rink. He's great holiday. That's not who he is today. He's hello. What? Remember the kid tried to hand him the football? It was the kid's first interception, or was a game sealing something.
Oh yeah.
And he's looking at him strange. Aaron Rodgers, with any incompletion, even if it's clearly his fault, he's looking to the sky. He's throwing his arms up in the air. The organization is walking on eggshells. Every single player is walking on eggshells. And as the Packers, why do you continue to deal with that? If what he's gotten you with this team that you've chosen to put together, not you as an Aaron Rodgers, you as in the Packers. The Packers have chosen this team. This is what they've decided to roll out with. If you're going to commit to not selling the bank to go get a wide receiver, and you're 4-7, why continue with Rodgers? Why not give Jordan Love an opportunity? And maybe it's a breath of fresh air for the organization, because if Jordan Love sucks, no one's going to be afraid to call out Jordan Love.
But once again, another thing that I argue is that they did try to trade for multiple different wide receivers at the trade deadline. They offered a first for Moore. They offered a second for Cook.
Yeah, I know they did, but they weren't willing to give that just slight extra piece.
I mean, a first for Moore, and I'm not giving it more than a first for Moore.
If you have to give up a sixth.
Okay, a first and a sixth, but they're probably wanting a first and a fourth. And let's be real, fourth rounders more and more are becoming more playmakers in this league. So yeah, of course you have those people that you throw away that are fourth rounders, but especially on the Dolphins, most of their players are between the second and fifth round. Those are where your every down or playmakers, your deep backups are in the second through fifth round.
Yeah, but a deep backup, it does not matter. This is probably the last year you're going to have Aaron Rodgers. They had this agreement under the table that you get to go, and probably even they had the number 1 seed 2 years in a row. He's the back-to-back MVP. In last 2 off seasons, he still wanted to leave. Anything short of a Super Bowl, he probably wanted out. They were at the trade deadline? They were 3-5 or whatever it was. Go out and get that extra piece. Give up the fourth. And in worst case scenario, he still leaves. Okay, we have DJ Moore. When has that ever been an issue, having a good wide receiver for whoever your next young quarterback ends up being? That's not a bad problem to have.
It's a bad problem when you don't have your number one quarterback to throw. We've seen DJ Moore succeed a little bit with PJ Walker, but what did he do with Baker? He had success with his wide receivers in Cleveland, who are not better than DJ Moore. Sam Darnold, he didn't do good with him either. I mean, he didn't do good with Cam.
So he doesn't succeed this season. Who cares that you're not going to make the Super Bowl this year anyways? If you go out and get that wide receiver and then go out and get your next quarterback, maybe it is Jordan Love. The best way to figure out whether Jordan Love is worth the crap is by giving him a wide receiver to go out and play with for the rest of the season. They obviously didn't do that, so this conversation is pretty much pointless. But I do think they should give Jordan Love some reps to see maybe he's the guy. Probably not, but maybe he's the guy.
Isn't his fifth-year option coming up?
Well, he was drafted the same year as Tua. So.
Really?
Yeah. He was a late first-round pick. They trade. Did they trade up? I think they might have traded up with us.
They traded up to get him.
But they think they traded with us.
No way.
I'm pretty sure they traded with us to go up and get Jordan Love instead of Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson was earlier in the draft, but still, they had the opportunity. If they traded up with us, they could have traded up with Justin Jefferson, which again just shows. I don't want to blame everything on Rodgers. I've been very critical of Rodgers. I'm well aware he's not the biggest issue with the team. He's a top 10 quarterback of all time, has all the talent in the world, throws one of the most beautiful footballs you've ever seen. He's a great quarterback.
Except last night.
Well, except most of the season, really. He's been very poor this season.
His throws have been on and off, but can you attest that to his thumb injury?
But even when they're off, they still look beautiful coming out because it looks so effortless. It's the clean spiral.
The flip of the wrist.
It is. But he's not the biggest issue. The fact is, this team is afraid to push their chips in. They don't have an owner that's breathing down the necks of the GM, the head coach. They don't have that big figure that you're afraid of. You kind of need a little bit of fear in an organization.
I honestly couldn't even tell you who the owner is.
They don't have an owner. That's why you can't. The Packers don't have an owner. They're owned collectively. They don't have an owner. I'm sure they have a board, but they don't have a single figure owner. The team was purchased for $200 in 1910 or something ridiculous. I totally pulled that out of my butt, but it is something as ridiculous as that. They don't have an owner, so they don't have somebody forcing down demanding wins right now. Stan Kroenke with the Rams, what did he do? He said, I don't care what you give up. Get me a Super Bowl. It worked last year. They're kind of reaping some of what the lack of draft picks that you were alluding to happens when you do go all in. But when they do go all in, it got them a Super Bowl. 49ers go all in and get McCaffrey. We'll see what happens with that. Teams today aren't winning without going all in, and they repeatedly, year in, year out, refuse to go all in. So why does Aaron Rodgers stay around? Why do they want to keep him if they're refusing to do that with him?
And it's been like that ongoing for years. Like you said, why trade up to draft a quarterback in the first round when you have plenty of wide receivers? Justin Jefferson wasn't even the only good wide receiver in that draft class. Yeah, obviously he was the best because he's the best in the league right now.
One's in jail.
One's in jail.
Well, one will be in jail. He's currently actually on bail.
Wait, Ruggs is on. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the video of him working out a couple months ago.
I thought that was just
an old video.
Yeah.
He's currently free. He's got the money.
Yeah. But anyway, but there was plenty of wide receivers to choose from in that class. I believe CeeDee Lamb was also in that class.
Yep.
So you have all these guys that you could have chose from, and you went and got a quarterback. So, and it's been, I don't think they drafted a offensive position player, in, I think, almost 10 years. They haven't drafted one since Rodgers was starter.
I think he's thrown a touchdown to one first-round pick or some ridiculous.
The only first-round pick that he's thrown to, it was Mercedes Lewis. And that was this year. Mercedes Lewis. I didn't even know he was still playing football.
Well, he's been on the team for 2 or 3 years now, so
he blocks. That's it.
Yeah, he occasionally. It's one of those where he blocks and rolls out for a touchdown.
He basically
is an extension of the offensive line, George Kittle.
Like, what?
Like George Kittle has been for most of his time with the 49ers.
So glad I traded him away.
Me too.
I played him this week. Or last week. Yeah, last week. But yeah, like, bro, get him some weapons, and they haven't. So you can't blame him. Like you said, you're not really blaming fully on him.
I'm still blaming him, though.
You are. And I put some blame on him for being, like, in the offseason, you have all these young wide receivers that are talented. Romeo Doubs is talented.
Just go say hi to them or something.
Christian
Do
Watson.
little workouts with him.
Christian Watson, obviously talented. Like, he went from dropping, like, almost everything thrown to him to making that insane catch last night in the end zone. I mean, given it wasn't that insane, but it's still a really good catch.
But you know how you get that to happen earlier? Introduce yourself to them. Do
Chemistry.
off-season workouts with them. I mean, Russell Wilson, as cringe as he is, literally the first day he signs with with the Broncos, he's working out with Jerry Jeudy.
Exactly.
It's not working, but at least he tried.
Jerry Jeudy hates them.
Yeah, at least he tried. Aaron Rodgers doesn't try, and it's taking till week 9, now week 10, week 11, to finally just look at his rookie receivers. Romeo Doubs had like a little spurt where he caught like 8 passes or something, but even that was nothing crazy. Last night, he mostly threw a lot to Randall Cobb. He pushed hard for the Packers to go get Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb is eating actually a big piece of their cap right now because of what the Texans signed him for.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers really has this team with handcuffs on. If I'm the Packers, I'm benching him, not because he's been that bad, but I want to see what Jordan Love has, because this season's over with, and they really need to start looking forward to the future.
It's not really over with. I mean,
it's over with. It's over with.
Bro, if the Lions still are talking about having a shot at the playoffs and they have the same record,
no, they don't. They can talk about all they want, but that doesn't mean they're right.
They're 2 games back.
I don't care if they're 2 games back.
With
Their season's
8
done.
games to go.
I don't care. Their season's done.
2 games back with 8 games to go. That's a long.
Your fantasy season's done. Okay, I know.
Screw you.
I know this is kind of like, I know like you're gonna argue this.
No, it's not.
I know
you're not at all. My fantasy season is not done.
Yes, it is.
It is not.
What's ESPN say your chances are at making the playoffs?
What's ESPN say my final projection standing is?
What is their chance at making the playoffs?
What is my final projection standings?
What's your chance at making the playoffs?
What is ESPN? So
8%.
It says I'm projected 6, which we have 6 playoff teams.
Yes, but we all know we were on the phone yesterday calling that system crap. Okay, so I don't want to.
So your system is also crap because the percentage is also crap.
No, it's not. No, you're 11th.
But I'm 2 games back with 6 games to go.
Okay, just like the Packers, just like the Lions.
No, I'm 2 games back, and the teams that are ahead of me all have tough schedules because they have to face you.
Just like the Packers, just like the Lions.
No, the Lions have a relatively easy schedule compared to the Packers. The Packers have a really tough schedule.
The Packers' season is done. They need to start looking for the future.
Speaking,
shut up. Their season's done.
Technically speaking, it is not. So therefore, they can't justify benching Rodgers yet. It's not.
Yes, they can.
They're not the freaking Colts who are gonna go and bench to see what Sam Ellinger has and then realize that he's absolute dog crap and then start Matt Ryan again.
They're 4-7. They have a very difficult stretch of games. They have a young quarterback that they've spent a first-round pick plus to go out and get. See what he has. Remove the headache of Aaron Rodgers.
I agree with you on that's what they should do. I'm telling you that's what they won't do.
Well, I think they should, and maybe they do.